Welcome back to another exciting and thrill filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream. Okay, maybe that was a little over the top. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get our next video started.
Here in Boracay Island, Philippines, welcome back to another episode of DIY Nautical Dream. I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich. Together we make DIY Nautical Dream. So yeah, we're here at the beach in Boracay in the Philippines, checking it out. Pretty warm one, very humid today. It was raining this morning, but now it's going to shape up to be a beautiful day. Be a hot one later on this afternoon. So yeah, we just wanted to kind of share the views here a little bit. And we're still working on videos.
While on vacation.
Yeah, while we're on vacation, we're still editing. So the action is nonstop here at DIY Nautical Dream. We want to bring the adventure to you, the viewer. Okay, we hope you enjoy the video. See ya.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.
Comment down below. Bye.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Hey guys, how's
What's
it
up,
going?
everybody?
Long time no see.
Well, anyways, first of all, we want to introduce our...
Let's talk about the obvious, right? All right.
If you want to check out our merchant.
No.
Scratch. Hi guys,
welcome back. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time, right? What, like a week?
We've been everywhere.
Yeah.
It's been really busy.
Yep, but we're still working on the boat and getting stuff done, so that's always good.
We still keep going on wherever we go. We keep this project going.
Yeah, no matter what, right?
Anyways, so last week video.
No, we gotta talk about the obvious.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the obvious here. So if you haven't noticed, we both have on matching hats. Not matching in color, but matching with the patches. Yeah, so if you can see that, there you go. That's our new DIY Nautical Dream logo for our channel. We had it made into a patch for our hats, and so we're going to make a limited edition run of DIY Nautical Dream hats. And we have a few friends and followers that have been watching and liking and commenting on our videos since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we just kind of want to maybe try and put a few of these in people's hands. And so yeah, where we can, we will. Make sure some people get some of these, right?
Yeah, and if you guys like these hats, comment below and we'll make sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, tell us what you think. We're not like really trying to push merchandise or anything like that, but
we just want to give a thanks.
Yeah.
Who's been with us.
Sure.
Since the very beginning.
Yeah, and so, you know, we're not like looking to sell these or anything like that for money or nothing like that, but it's not cheap to get something like this done. But if you're interested, let us know. Otherwise, we're just going to wear them ourselves and a few of our friends and coworkers and family. And when we travel and go to boat shows and, you know, we do a lot of vacations in other countries, we're going to wear these, and it gives us an opportunity to talk about our channel and what we're about. So that's mostly what it's all about, right?
Yep.
Yep. So anyways, we just thought we'd share that to you. If you guys wanted to know more about it, go ahead and ask us in the comments, and we can
give you some.
Yeah, we can talk more about it. So, and also we're going to introduce our new logo on our video. In this video, we'll roll that out. Okay.
Okay.
So I guess that's enough on that, right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll move on then.
All right, let's go proceed to our project.
Yeah.
Let's quit talking.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, because you know we've been told we talk too much, so we gotta
we likes to talk.
Get on with the show here.
Yeah. Anyways, as you can see, guys, from last week.
Oh, did you know we have a subscriber, longtime subscriber and longtime viewer, all the way in Australia? Yeah, that was in the comment from last week's video.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, can you imagine that?
Being with us since
we've
the very
made
beginning.
it that far across the world to Australia. Is anybody else farther away than that? let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the show. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Yep. Still, honey,
Yeah.
you just want to talk. Anyways,
I like to talk.
quit interrupting
Oh,
me.
sorry. The boss.
All right. Anyways, as you can see, guys, from last week video, our update, we were very happy with the new galley panels installed.
Yeah.
Husbands really did a good job.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yay, team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole galley overhead thing, man, what a job that is.
Right. And so let's keep continuing.
Yeah.
Let's do more to this.
Yeah, let's do more work and less talk, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We'll roll out the video, and at the end, we'll talk about how far we're gonna get in this video, and we'll go from there.
Right.
All right.
See you.
See ya. Right. All right. So check it out. Now we have the new piece of overhead panel, fiberglass tabbed in, epoxied in, with thickened epoxy on both sides for a fillet. And yep, we went ahead and put some thickened epoxy between that joint there and taped it. Fiberglass taped it all the way around. So we're just letting that cure right now. But that's where we're at. And then on this plywood here, it's epoxy coated on all sides, edges, and ends. But on the top side, before I put it up here today, I went ahead and painted it with white paint, sealer paint. So it's all sealed, extra layer of protection on the top side. So we're not probably ever going to have to worry about this rotting because of moisture again. And then I went ahead and used a couple of screws to really sink it down and hold it in place. And so it's definitely part of the boat. And man, this is a big deal. This is a big deal because if you look forward now, you'll see that all the way up to the very front of the living area up there, we have new plywood up in there. So yeah, it's a big deal. And it's all epoxy coated, it's all fiberglass tabbed in place and filleted in with thickened epoxy. So, and then as you see here, we'll put another strip of plywood over the top here, and if you see the black dotted line, that's where the vinyl is going to join together all the way back. And so the same as what we did up front here, when we close that vinyl up there, we're gonna go ahead and follow it all the way back. So, and then with any luck, we'll try and save this vinyl. There's going to be some tricky spots, probably mainly this area right here. This area right here is going to be the hardest part of vinyl to close because we don't have a lot of side-to-side room for it to stretch back, and it has shrunk due to being pulled apart for so many years. And just look at the quality of this plywood. It is just rotted away, and that's all from moisture. So, and that's what we had going on back here as well. And we've made all new plywood to go back in here over all these. So, if you guys are following what I'm saying, that's what's going on. And yeah, we're making some progress. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is a lot of work. A lot of preparation has to go in before any of this can go together. So. And that's the behind the scenes stuff nobody sees or even realizes how much of that's actually going on before things have to go together. It's all in the preparation. If the prep is poor, the final product is going to be poor. And although nobody's going to see this, I'll know that it's there. And as long as I feel good about it, then it's one thing that we can be confident about that we know is done right, or done at least good enough to what we need, and we'll move on from there and continue working back. So let's see, what were we doing next after that? We were going to I'm going to go ahead and add a piece of plywood here, small piece about so wide, and then another piece right here, and that's just a little bit more room for the structure above to attach to. The other thing we're doing is we're going ahead and painting these surfaces here, and what we're going to do next after that is before we're ready to put the new plywood over here, we're going to go ahead and put a very thin layer of foam insulation over this, and just to help combat condensation. The battle is condensation in this area big time. You got to remember, this is a galley. the stove, which runs off propane, and most people know that propane produces condensation just by burning. So it's going to automatically throw moisture into the environment here. So we're always going to be battling condensation and moisture. So that's just the life of a boat. But anyways, that's where we're at. I hope this was fun for you guys as it was for me. It definitely made a mess, but that's cool. That's what rubber gloves for, and napkins, and I think I wiped up most of it. But then one of the final things we'll do before we go ahead and close this all back up is not today obviously, but we will paint this as well, so it'll be white like everything else. And then we're going to run our new lighting fixture wiring down here. We'll wire this new wires, and then we'll go ahead and once that's all done, we'll be ready to button this back up with the vinyl closure. We'll see how that goes. I have my doubts, but heat gun seems to help to stretch it, so we'll see. In the back of the truck here, you can see some of our homework that we brought home to cut out some of these pieces of overhead plywood. And so we did that. We used the old ones as templates and made new ones that are exact replicas, minus the rod, of course. And some of them we were able to treat with penetrating epoxy before we're bringing them back to the boat. The other ones we'll have to coat them with the penetrating epoxy once we get there. But yeah, it's always good to bring stuff home. We seem to have a little bit of extra time at home after the work day, and able to do some of this work then as well. So that helps keep things moving forward a little bit. But anyway, so we're going to take these back to the boat, and we'll get them back and start putting them in the overhead. And little by little, this is going to start coming together. Now it's time to transition into the galley overhead wiring problem. What a mess of spaghetti that is. We're going to try and get that sorted out. One of the plans for today is I'm going to run the new wire, and I'm going to have it coming out from over here and run along here until the point where it tucks up underneath here. It tucks up underneath here, and then eventually it comes back out here, and then it runs up underneath all the headliner boards. But right now what they have is they have it running here, and then it pins up underneath the plywood that's going to mount up on here like this, and then it tucks back over here in the corner. See, I don't really like that, and I found a way to run it along the back of this bulkhead until it will come out here, and then we'll run it in a nice way to where it runs around here, tucks up under here, and then plus I don't like the current wiring quality. It's not really my favorite. It looks like it's been added on to a few times. And then we have this action here, and I'm just not a big fan of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace all this junky wire with new stuff. It's gonna run up here properly like it's supposed to, and then it'll be what's going to power the galley lighting system. We're gonna have one down here, we're gonna have one here, and then we'll have another one over the refrigerator and freezer area, which is right here. Just imagine that all this mess is gone. You know, you just kind of snap your fingers and it's supposed to go away. I haven't figured that trick out yet, but we'll get there. So anyways, we'll get that wiring done today, and then we'll start putting up the overhead panels, mounting them permanently, and start getting ready to close this area back up. The other plan is I would like to go ahead and I'm going to get some insulation to put on here, adhere that, and we'll see what happens in this area here today too as well. If we can make some progress there, that'd be great. But yeah, and then so you can see this is what we glassed in last time, and it is, look at, I mean, it's rock solid. So we're good with all that. That was a good install, good fiberglass job, epoxy, whatever. Anyways, that's now permanently attached to the boat again like it was supposed to. One of the other things we need to do is they didn't have it before, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut a filler and run it through here and here, and it's gonna come out about 3 inches, and it'll give these wires something to kind of attach to, because right now they're just free hanging, and then you know, they can come into contact with this or whatever and chafe, and we're just going to avoid that. So anyways, we're going to put a filler over there, and we'll put a filler over here and just keep on moving. But yeah, I'm hoping to make some good progress on this galley overhead area today, so we'll just keep on going. That's the plan for today. We'll see where we get. Who knows, maybe we can get a port light ready to be mounted as well. I'm not sure. But one of the other things I would really like to do, I'd like to get this out. That requires removing this port light here and the other one there. So I don't know, maybe we can get that out today and bring this panel home and get ready to start making a new one. So we'll see where we get. We've got a long ways to go. So anyways, that's the plan. Hopefully we get some of that done today. Later. So one of the ideas we came up with when we were working up in the galley overhead area, trying to eliminate the conditions for condensation to form, is adding this small thin layer of insulation with the high density foam that we have. And so by adding that, we found that it helps to eliminate those conditions where the condensation is not forming on the side of the structure as easily. So we're going to go ahead and apply that, what we learned, to the behind the teak panels along the sidewall in the galley. And we're going to try to do that wherever we can throughout the boat as we're doing and replacing these panels. We're going to put insulation behind them. Doesn't seem like much, but whatever we can do to combat and remove that moisture from forming on the side of the structure, because once it condenses, it turns into droplets and it ends up becoming water and staining or absorbing somewhere down the, downstream. So we want to stop that wherever we can, and this is one of the small ways that can help change that. Okay, so we have some insulation up here now, and this should hopefully help with reducing condensation. I know it's not a very thick layer, but it's enough to make a little bit of a difference. Went ahead and added some extra wires for later, because I think we're going to want to add on to a lighting system in the galley area. So I just added these. Once the teak plywood goes in here, we'll tuck these along the edge here, and the trim will go on and cover it up. And but we'll have those for later if we want to add on to the lighting, because I have a couple different lighting ideas for the galley to help make it a little bit brighter in there. And then instead of the wires coming out and across here, I went ahead and ran them up over the back side of the bulkhead here and have them coming out from here up into there, and then they're going to come out. They're going to come out right here. So anyways, that's an improvement from what we had before. So anyways, and then what's left of the wiring is all just kind of dangling down here. Anyways, we'll just get rid of that. So we just thought it would be a good idea to replace that old aging wire with some new marine grade wire that's tinned. And it's just, we feel better about it. We can replace it wherever we have access to it. We're going to do that. But we went ahead and routed around the back side of the bulkhead. We just thought that was better organized and will provide us easier access down the road should we have to replace or pull any new wires through up into that area. So anyways, we feel like that's a better run for the wires instead of being pinched under the plywood in the overhead portion of the galley. So here we're getting ready to run the wires for the two forward galley overhead light fixtures, and we almost got a little too far ahead of ourselves, and so we had to remember to route a groove on the back side of the lower plywood panel in order for the wires to have a run in there like it was on the older panel. So we got that taken care of, but we almost got a little too far ahead of ourselves on that one. So looking at the aft portion of the teak panel there, the new one, you'll see a red and black pair of wires back there. Those are going to be auxiliary. So we're trying to think ahead a little bit so we don't have to keep removing and pulling panels up and down later on down the road. We're trying to add auxiliary wires because we want to do some kind of glow LEDs or some kind of mood lighting with LEDs. So we want to have some wires there in place when we figure out what we actually want. Sometimes we won't know what we want until the boat's a little bit more completed, but we know we're going to want to add something at some point. So it'll be nice to have an extra set of power wires. So this here is showing the cutouts for the two forward galley overhead lighting fixtures and the new wiring that we ran in place to work for those. Also, this shows the plywood panels on the overhead. Some of them are attached but not epoxy coated yet. We're just fit checking those. We're going to pull them down later and soak those with penetrating epoxy on all sides edges so that no water can get in there. Just a dry fit for now. All right, so the wire you see hanging down right here, that's for the new light fixtures that's gonna go in. And so I went ahead and ran the wire. It's running up behind this piece of plywood here. And then it's gonna be another light fixture right here that's gonna be mounted here. So we just got extra wire hanging there for that. We'll trim it up when we have the lighting fixture in place. And then, so we've replaced, if you look now, this is all new. All new, tabbed in, fiberglassed in, plywood, epoxy coated. Not epoxy coated, but it will be. I'm just dry fitting it right now. I'll take it down, epoxy coat it, and bring it back. I just want to make sure it all fits. And it's a good thing I checked because it was a little long. Anyway, so going aft, fitted that. There's going to be a cutout here for, like I said, a light fixture goes up in there. And then going aft, we got this fitted. Have the new teak panel on. Man, that looks beautiful compared to this one right here. Gee, night and day difference. But anyways, yeah, we got this fastened in, insulated behind it. And we're gonna go ahead and do that same process for the rest of them all the way forward. But anyways, we got more wires here for the there's gonna be a light fixture that mounts up in here. And so we got that wired in, and then instead of having the wires running underneath the plywood, I ran them through the bulkhead here, coming out here. And once all the covers are on and in place, you won't see those. I put some auxiliary wires for later, just tuck them up in here, and they'll be behind this this trim piece. And then at a later date, should we decide, which we probably will, we're going to want to run some kind of LED countertop lighting that lights up the countertop or whatever. We're going to have wires. We'll have the wires already in place for that. So that'll be good. Went ahead and tidied these up a little bit because they were just free hanging, and I just loosely zip tied them together. Made this piece here. Anyways, it does not look like much, but let me tell you, that was a lot of work. Plus I put a doubler up back here that was not here before. Oh, it's still kind of wet. Nice. Anyways, and epoxied that in. Didn't need to be there, but I wanted it there anyways. And then same thing above here. There's a doubler in place that was not there before. And once this is all screwed in here, this is gonna be nice and tight. So it's just it's only got 2 fasteners holding it right there, so it'll be super tight. Same thing here. And yeah, so we'll pull these non-coated pieces down and bring them back home, and we'll come back next week and we'll put those on, and we'll go ahead and mount them, get them all painted up and mounted, and paint all the rest of this back here. And man, it's a lot of work. I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work to get this done, and I know it doesn't look like much, but it was a lot, trust me. So anyways, now with all these pieces fitted, and once they're all mounted in place, then we'll be able to start closing the vinyl back up. So yeah, then we're gonna know if the vinyl can be saved or not. So, and also the next mission is going to be to remove this piece, and so we got to pull the port lights to do that. And once we get that done, we'll make a new piece for there and just keep on working our way forward along the side. We'll close up the vinyl up here, and it'll get there. I'm not 100% sure we're going to be able to save the vinyl still, but we'll find out. We're going to give it a good try. Anyways, that's where we're at today. A lot of work. Doesn't look like much, but it was. Oh well, so just keep in mind, this was all rotted before. It, like that junk. So now it's all new, super strong, epoxy coated. Shouldn't rot for another
Oh, who knows? It shouldn't rot. So, anyways.
So just a little backstory on this galley overhead structure repair project we have going on here. First of all, we didn't know this was even going to be that big of an issue when we first looked at this boat when we were shopping. Then once we had the surveyor debacle going on, he never even looked this direction or even mentioned anything about the galley overhead. But as we got into this and got deeper and deeper into it, it kind of had that sinking feeling like, oh my goodness, what are we getting ourselves into? I have no idea how I'm going to repair this. I have no idea how we're going to approach it. I honestly don't know what to do here. And so we kind of had that, the knot in our stomach feeling, and kind of the doubt was starting to creep in. Well, just sat there and stared at it and thought about it and tried to figure out a way. And so we started cutting sections out and then had some cardboard templates, kind of started coming up some patterns and some ideas, and thought maybe we can get this in here in one piece. That obviously didn't work, so we had to do it in sections, but we had the doubt. It was definitely there, and often wondered if we were going to be able to figure our way through this or not, or if we were going to have to get help, or what we were going to do about it. But truly, this was a big test to us on this project. Although it's not done, we are far, far from where we started, and we do have the light at the end of the tunnel, and our confidence is behind us now. So this was kind of a test and a confidence builder for us on this project. And we took away a lot of experience from this that we're going to be able to use down the road on any other kind of projects. It might not be pretty, but it's structurally it's sound and it's going to do the job. So we feel pretty good about it. We just wanted to share our little backstory and how we had the doubts and we had the concerns and we weren't sure what to do or which way to go with this even. It took us a long time to get this far, but now we feel pretty good about what we're doing. And it's going to look better for it in the end and be structurally sound, and we don't have to worry about it rotting again anytime soon.
All right, so here we go. Check it out. It's all the new ceiling structure is back, reinstalled, painted. This is for the galley area only, not the whole boat, but just for the galley area. But it's all painted, and it's in permanently, and yeah, we're pretty happy with this action. So can't paint there because I'm fiberglassing these two pieces together. Operator error, I'll fully admit that, but it's okay. No big deal. It's like secondary structure, so it really is just because I'm just being me about it, but we could have left them separate. But anyways, I wanted them joined together, so that's what we're doing there. And then yeah, so that's where we're at. Let's see here. Filling this cavity up here with the foam insulation. You can see up in there that I got the black foam insulation glued to the structure, and then this is just to fill the cavity so we can just minimize condensation altogether in this area. So nothing goes up in there anyways. It's just open area. So anyways, that's where we're at. This is all painted, all the new structures in, secondary structures in, everything's in. All the rotted plywood that was in here is now gone. Everything's all fiberglassed into place. For those of you scoring at home, this is a big deal. And the next thing we need to do is up in there, right here. See those fasteners coming through? Up on top, that's where the rope clutches mount. And so we're just going to pull that out and rebed it to make sure it doesn't leak. Because when we close this vinyl up, I don't want to have to be getting back up in there anytime soon. So anyways, we're going to fill this cavity up most of the way with foam insulation. And then we'll cut it out where I'll cut it out here where it's hanging over the edges. Like here and here, I'm just letting it set up because once you cut it, it's like lava, it just keeps oozing out. So let it all set up and then we'll cut it out. I also repaired my core drill that I drilled this area out a while back. Did a core drill just to check to see what kind of coring was in there, what kind of moisture we had going on. So I went ahead and filled that back in, glassed over the top of it, and that's where we're at. So that's just setting up. It's no big deal. It's not major structure, but I did seal it in fiberglass. Did in really good. So it's every bit as good as new, if not better. So we're happy with that. That's where we're at. That's progress for Wednesday after work. So big deal. It's a very big deal. We're moving forward nicely. We have the teak panel here. It's in. It's fastened in. One thing I'm thinking about doing before I mount the port light, thinking about taking some of that spray foam, shooting it in here, and then letting it set up and then cut out whatever's oozed out. So anyways, yeah, then the next plan is to just keep working our way forward along this side here. You can see how rotted all that is, and it's all going to come out. So, and as long as this also is going to come out, I'll make a new piece for that. And yeah, we'll just keep moving on. So as you can see in this picture here, we added more of the spray foam, expanding foam insulation inside there, as well as more of the high density black foam insulation as well. Not sure if that expanding foam insulation was a good idea or a bad idea yet. Only time's going to tell, but if we ever have to get in there again, we're going to regret it for sure. And I even had a little bit of trouble running those wires, as you can see here in this picture. But all in all, we're pretty happy with it. With the overhead plywood painted, it looks, with the white paint on it, looks pretty good. So we like that. Even though it won't be seen once the vinyl's closed in place, it still adds a little bit extra layer of protection against moisture. Now we're going to transition up to the cockpit area, where we notice that there's a leak coming in from the rope clutches. And what is happening here is there's some small cracks in the gel coat up here. And we also notice there's water getting down past the bolts that mount the rope clutches up in the cockpit area. This is one of those jobs that should have been like 10, 15 minutes. But oh no, we had to use 5200 and just glue the mess out of everything together. So we've been fighting on this for, I don't know, good
3 hours.
Good hour, 2 hours maybe. And anyways, so now, and you can just see that this has been leaking, right down through those holes. You can just tell by the color of everything that those have been pathways for water to get in down below and help rot that headliner that we just finished replacing. So anyways, we'll clean all this up, get it really nice and clean, and then we're going to bed everything down with butyl tape. So this is not going to be a problem again. But if we ever need to take it apart again, it'll come apart relatively easy. And of course we have to go buy all new hardware for it and everything. All the bolts are totally corroded, bent, mutilated, and will not behave ever again. So anyways, that's where we're at. So here you can see we got all the old 5200 removed off of the non-skid that was painted in the cockpit area there. And what a job that was. That stuff does not come off easy. So we're getting better at removing it, but that doesn't mean we look forward to it anymore each time we have to do it. But we know what we're in for. When we see 5200 anywhere now, we know it's going to be a job. But yeah, so we got this area cleaned up and it's ready for everything to start going back together. So here you can see we prepared the deck side surfaces and we're using butyl tape. It's a gray color. You can get butyl tape in lots of different colors. We're using the gray color. And you can also see here on the back of the mating surface of the rope clutch blocking system that we got butyl tape on there as well. We're going to use a lot. We're going to actually use more than we need, and we're just going to slowly tighten everything down to get the good adequate squeeze out, and that'll prevent any moisture or water from getting in there. And it'll help for taking apart later on down the road, because everything always needs maintenance or removal later, so this will really be helpful later on down the road. Alright, so we finished rebedding the rope clutch assembly here, and as you can see we got lots of good squeeze out, and we used butyl tape this time to bed this down so that next time should we need to do any kind of maintenance or whatever, we need to pull this up, it'll come right off real nice and easy. But the nice thing about butyl tape is it also still provides you a nice waterproof seal for above the waterline use only. But anyway, so we got good squeeze out all the way around, and yeah, what was supposed to be a quick easy job turned into a day-and-a-half job. Went ahead and also faired all these cracks that were in the gel coat, blended those in, filled them in with thickened epoxy, and sanded them, faired them. They're all nice and smooth, and it's ready for whenever we decide we want to add gel coat onto it. And all we'll have to do is just loosen up these lines, get them all out of the way, and then we can go ahead and gel coat this, and it'll look nice. We'll make it look like it never happened, but right now that's not the point. I don't want to get all slowed down by trying to gel coat this and make it all pretty. We can do that later. I want to get the vinyl. Baby wants to get the vinyl. We all want to get the vinyl closed up in the galley so we can get that galley area cleaned back up and start making it look normal again. But we needed to rebed this because I'll just show you. Stand by. Because up under here was where it was leaking before, so water was getting in past the bolts under the fitting up there, and water was starting to drip down here. So we went ahead and rebedded it. We got brand new hardware, and we reused the washers. The washers stayed on here, so we just left them and reused them. But yeah, and we were using nylock nuts on here, so they're not gonna back off or anything like that. But everything's really super tight, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So anyways, but yeah, the whole reason was for rebedding was that to seal this up so it wasn't gonna leak anymore. And that's what we did. So now we're gonna be able to move on. Hopefully we're gonna have a snack here, get something to eat, and then we'll move on and see if we can start closing up some vinyl today. All right, later. So here you can see the rope clutch is back mounted in place, and you can see the squeeze out from the butyl tape starting to do its thing. We want to let that sit for a couple days so we get adequate squeeze out, because if we tighten everything down now and walk away and consider it done, we'll have leaks later because we didn't wait for the squeeze out to finish, and we have to retighten the fasteners later just to make sure everything's seated really good after the squeeze out. Okay, so we went back and retightened all the nuts and bolts on the rope clutch assembly final time, just to ensure we are getting adequate squeeze out and everything's mated nice and tightly, because we don't want that leaking again. Then we're turning our attention back to the vinyl on the galley overhead area, and Baby's volunteered to assist me on that, which I'm going to need her help, and we're going to start closing this vinyl back up. And man, that's going to really make a difference visually, so we're looking forward to seeing how this turns out. Alright, so here we are. Baby's pulling some of the staples, and then we're going to continue on putting more headliner in. But yeah, we made it pretty far. We struggled today, but we're making up for it in the last stretch. And we're closing some of the vinyl, so if you look, we don't have too far to go now. So granted, it's only this side here, but we can't close that side yet because we're still working over there with the replacing the port lights and the damaged wood panels here and the wood that's right there. So, but we're getting there, and yeah, we're pretty happy with this action. So this is very hard to stretch because it's such a small span, but we've been able to do it, burning our hands in the process, but we're able to get this to line up here and get this to line up really close right here, and I think that's going to be close enough for boat work, we're hoping. And you know, we're gonna staple this shut here and just keep on going. So how you doing, baby?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Struggling a little bit? Yeah, looking up, working with your head bent back and mouth open, teeth showing and stuff, pulling staples that we can't find until they cut our hand. But yeah, we're good. Anyways, we're gonna keep going, so we'll see where we get. It's just about time to quit, so we'll see you later. Bye. As old and brittle and difficult to stretch as this old vinyl is, it still seems to go back into place really nice once it's done. And we put a lot of staples in it, and it's holding into place. And it actually doesn't look half bad once we're done with it. At some point down the road, we might revisit this topic and maybe replace all of it. But for right now, we just don't want to get bogged down with that project. And we just want to try and salvage what we have. We'll clean it up, wipe it down later. But so far, it's starting to look pretty good, so we're motivated with that. So as we look back towards the galley overhead section, You can see we've stapled some of that vinyl back into place, and it looks pretty good, although that wasn't left unstapled for very long, so it didn't have a lot of time to shrink back up. But it pulled back into place nicely, and we got it stapled down, and it doesn't look too bad. We're getting a little bit better at this sort of thing. I also figured while we were at it working on this area and we had the vinyl pulled back in the overhead area, we better run those extra wires while we're at it. And we put some extra wires in there that were not located in this section before, and these are for auxiliary LED lighting that we're going to add possibly sometime later on down the road. And so we put them in now while we have the opportunity, and if we never use them we can just cap and stow them, but if we need them down the road we know they're there, so that'll be nice. So as you can see in these couple pictures here, you can see we have the new galley overhead wiring hanging down through the cutouts in the overhead area, and that's good. So we wanted to replace that old wiring. It was really brittle, and it's probably old and got who knows going on with it. It could have some corrosion in there that could create a little bit of resistance or whatever. So we had the chance to replace it with new wire in there. We might as well do it while we're there, and we won't regret it down the road. So it's a good choice, and now we know the wiring's going to be good in this area. So here's a couple of views of the rope clutch assembly after we've put it together, and this is after even sitting for a day, and it still continued to squeeze out. So it was a good thing we went back and retightened everything one last time before we closed up that vinyl in the area. So if you're ever on a project and you're using butyl tape, just keep in mind the thicker you put it on there, the more you have to, leave time for squeeze out to happen. And that squeeze out period can be a long time depending on how thick and how cold it is. So keep that in mind, because the last thing you want to do is think whatever you mounted is tight. After the squeeze out, everything's going to be kind of loose again. So you want to go back and re-snug up those bolts again, or the screws, or whatever fasteners you're dealing with. So anyways, it's just a little side note there, but yeah, this turned out really good. And we're continuing on with stapling up this overhead vinyl, making some progress. Alright, so here we are. Look at how far we got today. Got the vinyl all put back in. We still have the other half to do, but we can't put that in until we finish replacing all the rotted plywood that's along here. So we're not going to do that just yet, but if you look, we got all this all back in and located, stretched into place all the way back. Yep, so that's pretty good. We're definitely getting there. So anyways, that's where we're at for now. Well, things are happening pretty quick now. It's really changing a lot visually. Even though putting vinyl in place isn't really a big deal, but visually it makes a huge impact and it's very motivating. We would just want to keep going and keep getting this stuff closed up until there's no more left, but we can't do that. But what we are doing is really starting to make a difference. So, all right, so here we are. We got some more of the vinyl closed up. So we went ahead and joined this seam all the way down. And some places we just loosely did it because we're going to be heating this up and stretching it that way once this is replaced and the new pieces of plywood above are put in. And so we'll stretch it. All these wrinkles are going to come out no problem. So I'm not even worried about that. But pull that back out. But yeah, so this is looking good. We have a little bit of tweaking to do here. We want to go ahead and undo the staple line here and then move this over just a tiny bit. But as you can see right here, we need to move that over here just a little bit. Yeah, no problem. So far, we're looking pretty good, though. This was some really hard vinyl to stretch. I'm hoping that it'll clean up and we'll be in good shape. But either way, we got it in, and all the way down here to the very end, it's in. So this is going to be covered with trim. All the way across here, it'll be trim covering all this. So it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We're in all the way back here, across there. I'm not gonna go ahead and join this just yet because we need to have this down for when we're working up underneath here. We got a lot of work we got to do under here, so we're gonna leave that down, and we'll actually pull this trim off of here, get this off, and start dropping the headliner going forward, because this panel here needs to come out. This port light needs to come out. That one needs to come out. That one right down there is ready to go in. So But yeah, it's not bad progress for a week work night though. So we got a lot of stapling in today, that's for sure. And it's really hot work too, with the heat gun running and everything like that. I was just sweating like crazy. So, but yeah, baby's running the heat gun, I was running the stapler, and together we got it. Good team. Baby and I have been working really hard lately on this vinyl, just really pushing ourselves to keep going, keep getting it done, staying here as late as we can until we absolutely have to leave, and then getting up early going to work the next morning. But just stepping back and taking a look at how far we've come in such a short period of time with the this overhead project. When we were trying to remove one of the next sections of the teak trim, one of the screws just would not come out. And when we finally did get it out, this is exactly how it looked when it came out. Man, this thing was mangled. It was not coming out on its own power at all. But we got it out. But imagine what the hole looks like that it came out of. All right, so here we go. Got the vinyl all closed in here. Working our way aft. Did a lot of repairs up in the overhead. The entire overhead plywood area in the galley was all rotted from water damage. We've replaced all the wood that was up under here that the vinyl's attaching to, that the trim ring for the opening hatch mounts to, that has all been replaced. You can see under here this has all been replaced, and everything's all been re-glassed in, tabbed in. We've insulated up in here to combat the condensation problems, and we just keep on working our way back. So all new wood here, structure for supporting the overhead vinyl and all that, it's all been replaced, and we're just about, well, we're partway done closing the overhead vinyl. This is new. Got a new port light here we're going to put in there. We haven't done it yet. One thing we tried a little bit different here is spraying the foam insulation up in here. So that's going to be cool. Sorry about the lighting, our light burned out. But yeah, so if you look this direction, we're stopping right here from closing the vinyl because it's time to leave for the day. But we are getting there. Coming along quite nicely. So yeah, and so we got lots of wires hanging here. We got some auxiliary lighting for some LEDs that we're going to put in that are going to run off remotes, and we're going to have our main lights as always. So we got a couple of wiring options hanging in here. That's why you see all the wires hanging. So they'll go away. I'll trim off all the excess when it's time to mount everything up, and none of that will show. So anyways, we're getting there. So that's it for this time. See ya. Alright, so here we are working on the headliner, and we made quite a bit of progress fastening the headliner back into place all along here and there, heading aft, back there, all the way here and through here and there, all the way down. Yep, so we're pretty happy with that. We can't fasten this to this side yet because we still have lots of work to do up underneath here, and we have to add some more plywood up under here. We need to remove this rotted panel here and fabricate a new one. We need to remove both these port lights here, rebuild those, get them back installed, and just keep working our way forward. And this here is going to come off, and yeah, we'll just keep going. But yeah, this is the update where we're at right now. And today, yeah, we got a lot of stapling done today. Crazy. And then this stuff is, once it's cooled back down, it's very brittle again. But we took advantage of it while it was hot, got it into place, and it's gonna turn out all right. So this is the worst part of the vinyl in the whole boat. It was in really bad shape before we bought the boat, and so we're just trying to see if we can save it. And we got some vinyl cleaner, vinyl stain remover, and we'll clean it up. Once we get everything all in place, we'll clean it up really good, and it should be just fine. So I think we're not even going to really know what's going on. That we're not going to even know that it had been apart by the time we're all done with it. So I think it'll look just fine. It'll clean up good, and as long as it cleans up, we're happy. So, and it'll stay. If for some reason it doesn't clean up, or it starts to rip or tear or crack or whatever, then we'll remove all the vinyl and put new vinyl in here. So, but that's where we're at for today. All right, so in this episode, we got a lot of work done. We got a little farther than we expected in the galley, and we even put Baby to work. You guys have said you wanted to see more Baby in action. Well, Baby got working on the galley overhead too, along with me, because we started closing up some of the vinyl on the overhead, and so we had a lot of staples we needed to remove, and so Baby wanted to help out with that, so she did. And once we got the staples out, then we started closing up all that vinyl back there. And did we have fun with that or what?
Yep. Lots of heating action.
Yeah, heat gun, burning hands, and putting in new staples and stretching vinyl. Believe it or not, we were very doubtful if we could save that vinyl or not, but with Baby running the heat gun and me pulling and stretching and stapling, we were able to close up some of the hardest parts of the vinyl, so we're pretty happy with that. Let's see, what else did we do? We did wiring.
Yeah, we rerouting galley wires overhead,
Yeah.
and then adding more insulation on side wall,
Yeah,
and then we found more leak on
Yeah.
the rope clutch in
Yeah.
the cockpit.
yep, we found another new leak, so that's always cool. We always like finding those.
Yep.
But it's better to find them now than later. So yeah, the rope clutch has to come out, which was up in the cockpit area, and so we teamed up on that as well. And man, was that 5200 all over again.
Your friend.
Yeah, and so we had to bend, mangle, and punch bolts out, and these are custom cut bolts, so we had to go find some new ones, and McLennan's was able to help us out with that, so that was a good thing. But yeah, lots of fun. So you'll see, you probably saw it in the video, and so we struggled a lot in this video, but
We like to struggle.
yeah, we like to struggle, and like we always say, if it was easy, we wouldn't be doing it. So we got a lot of progress, and we're really happy with how things are coming along. We can sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel in the galley overhead structure repair, and so we're pretty happy with that. And we're actually starting to move a little bit forward from the galley now. So yeah, thanks for the help, Baby.
Of course.
Could not have done it without you, you know that. So teamwork makes the dream work, and it's always good to have Baby helping out. So I could not have done that vinyl closure without her. But yeah, anyways.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Ding! Yeah, we really appreciate it for those of you who are subscribing, and the new subscribers and longtime subscribers. We really appreciate that. It means a lot to us. And right now, currently, we're sitting at 469 subscribers. So that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, your favorite number.
Yeah, well, part of it. Anyways, so we're really thankful for that. Our goal is to get to 1,000. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can actually start getting monetized. Because right now we're not getting paid a cent for any of these videos, which is fine. We're not in it for the money, but it would be nice to see a little bit of something coming back our way from it.
Cents.
Yeah, it would be like pennies per video. But either way, it'd be just kind of nice to see something happening, right?
Alright, let's go ahead and close this video. You just want to keep talking. Thanks for watching, guys.
She almost hurt my feeling.
See ya.
Have a good one. Now there's a nice looking shell. I'd keep that one.
And what's that?
My idea. Oh, we got a boat coming. It's this guy. Nice. Dang. 5 engines on the back. That was sweet.